First time using one of these, so this should be very entertaining for all of you. I'm Tom Lorek. I'm here to talk about Metamarkets. Metamarkets is a cloud-based real-time analytics platform. Because it's cloud-based, it's scalable. We have a full data stack from ingestion through processing and analysis, through an interactive UI, and onto visualization. It's accessible. You can use it on any device, the computers you're all typing on frenetically here, as well as your mobile devices. And most important, it's very, very fast because it has in-memory computing technology, so all the calculations are done in essentially flash storage, which means that for all of your companies, we can satisfy your need for speed. And what makes this important is that it allows you to start tweaking what's going on in real-time exchanges, real-time bidding, real-time data transfers, as you see analytics come up. And I wish I had the live rail slide because it was much more comprehensive. But in 2009, these companies and a bunch of others started introducing real-time trading. Real-time trading allowed for quick individual pricing of impressions, quick delivery of impressions, and delivery to actual users as opposed to context. But what they didn't get was the actual analytics right. And we're still using analytics that looks like this from the 90s. These are basically CSV files produced by Hadoop clusters that kick out this data in essentially a spreadsheet that you have to pivot on. It has three big disadvantages. One, it's incredibly slow to create. It can take hours for a simple CSV. It can take days. Two, it's very, very slow to deliver. Usually you get this by email overnight, in my experience, which means that essentially you're not reacting to something going on in an advertising market until the next day. And finally, it's very, very slow to use to get insight. You have to drop this into a pivot table. You have to then pivot through all the different data until you get to what you're looking for. If you don't have the right report, you have to go get another one and pivot that one down until you finally get to the insight you're looking for. And when you're slow in a marketplace, you get run over. In 1984, the New York Stock Exchange introduced electronic order routing systems. In 1987, this happened. The same sort of thing is possible within RTB systems for ad networks. Without analytics to understand market momentum, you can't tweak and adjust when things like this happen. So I think of the entire problem as being very much like mid-90s portal directory systems. You want to figure something out on the internet, you start digging through a category until you find it. If you're in the wrong category, you go back up to the top and start digging again. Eventually, search erased this problem. Because you had search, it was a dynamic way of querying. And it meant that you could get to the information you wanted from multiple different angles. I think Metamarkets is the equivalent of search in the analogy. And if you're not using something that's fast, if you guys remember these, you're using a card catalog. It's not a good way to get to information. I think no one in a library has seen one of these in about 10 years. Hopefully this works. This is an actual example of what we do. So this is logging in and looking at a dashboard for a data set for an RTB exchange. What I'm doing here is I'm trying to figure out the components of a CPM spike that's occurring. So first I'm going to blow up my site list for this exchange. And if I'm an account manager on the exchange, I can look at all the sites available, or I can filter this just to my sites that I want to look at because I'm responsible for them. I'm finding now through our comparison tool what sites are contributing to the exchange, and I've isolated one. And now I'm going back out to the full data set to look at the advertisers that are driving this spike. And using the comparison tool, I'm going to find two. All of this can be done. We can get to the data up and ready for you in something along the lines of 6 seconds from the time of trade, so that you can respond very quickly to these spikes and take advantage of them as they occur. The other thing that's going on here now is that I've shown it for an exchange. I could also show it to you for a buy side. I could show you segmentation analysis for a DMP if you wanted to. For publishers, we have one publisher client I have a quote from later in this presentation that can also do this sort of analysis. Here, if I'm the account manager, I can adjust floor prices on the fly to take advantage of this spike. I can call the advertiser and find out who the campaigns are that are driving the spike and see if there's other inventory that I can sell to them. I can go through and try to adjust my advertising blocks to get more campaigns in for that particular advertiser if they're across multiple different brands. We also have a discovery feed capacity that allows for a notification of large data anomalies. It's essentially an alerting mechanism if you have something that's going on in the exchange that's abnormal. You click on that, you're quickly taken to a filtered view of the data set that isolates what is driving the change in the spike in whatever metric you're looking at. I mentioned that as an account manager, you can isolate this so that it's only related to the actual data that you're interested in. So this is a filtered view through our favorites function that only picks the sites that a particular account manager is responsible for. And you click the favorite view and get back to it. And finally, we do visualizations. This is a heat map, bar chart, scatter plot. I feel like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, lions, bears. We can do a number of different visualizations, including candlestick charts, Sankey diagrams for attribution flows, and a variety of other different visualizations as your needs arise. Here's what our customers say about this. I particularly like the first quote. The Financial Times, John Slade got on the phone with a client, quickly raised his prices just by looking at one of our dashboards. That's what speed gives you when you have analytics at speed. That's it. Thank you very, very much.
A question via email. Yesterday, I believe it was Joe Pike of Nextmark said that agency planners are overwhelmingly using Excel to do their planning. What percentage of RTB exchanges are using Excel for programmatic buying, and should we be scared?
I would like you to be scared, certainly. I think Excel is becoming essentially a proxy for an actual user interface. And that's unfortunate because that's not what it's designed to do. And Excel, it bottoms out at about 1 million rows worth of data, which is, I don't know how many megabytes it is, but some of you are producing 4 terabytes of data a day, which is an unbelievable amount if you think about it in an Excel spreadsheet. I think you should be scared. I think that the ability to adjust in real time is going to become more and more important. I used to run RTB ops at PubMatic. At least twice I saw cases where demand partners didn't actually understand what they had set up their buying system to do and blew out a budget over a weekend. That's not a good situation to be in. And I think agencies should think about that as well. Thanks.